What's going on, everybody? Off the Mike Sports Network here. NFL Week 14 wraps up, and the final headline to be read for this week is the Chargers beat the Eagles in overtime, 22-19. Jalen Hurts 5 turnovers in this game. He had 2 turnovers on one play, by the way. That's just kind of letting you know how the state of the Eagles' offense here. Um, And the Chargers kick a field goal. Justin Herbert basically playing with one hand. He's the team's leading rusher with 66 yards. Only throws for 139 yards. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, 4 interceptions, a fumble. If not for a 52-yard run by Saquon Barkley that gave him a touchdown, I don't know what this looks like. The Eagles were an embarrassment. They were an embarrassment in this game. And they've been an embarrassment for most of the season, to be honest with you. The only saving grace is the rest of their division is dog shit this year. The Eagles have now lost 3 in a row. The best thing I could say for them is they got the Raiders at home next week. The Raiders are not even trying to win. So the Eagles will win next week. They should. Because they're at home. They're playing a bad team. Granted, it's on a short week. The Eagles are going to win that game. They then have the Commanders, the Bills, and the Commanders in 3 straight weeks. We'll see the health of the Commanders if the Commanders are even trying to win at the end of the season. My big takeaway is the Eagles ain't winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm not even sure the Eagles are going to make the playoffs. The best thing I could say for them right now is the Cowboys currently sitting with no extra games to play, sit at 6-6-1. So the Cowboys are effectively a couple games back. So it's going to be really hard for Dallas to catch the Eagles at the end of the season because they've got the Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and the Giants. So they would have to, I think, win out ultimately to even have a chance at what would ultimately be 10-6-1. And we'll have to see how the Eagles play out the rest of their season. But this team's a fraud, man. This team is a fraud, the Eagles. They got away with talent and they were able to put it together at the right time and blew out the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and it presented a lot of, positive nature around Nick Sirianni and can this team be successful? Now you got the noise with A.J. Brown. You've got just noise all over the team. It's hard to really think that this team won a Super Bowl. And I mean, look at their last. Let me point this out to you guys. So since they beat the Giants 38-20. Here's their last 5 games. The last 5 games that they've played. Beat the Packers 10-7. Beat the Lions 16-9. Lose to the Cowboys 24-21. Lose to the Bears 24-15. Lose to the Chargers 22-19. What do you notice in that scenario? This offense sucks. The offense has not cleared 21 points. They have not cleared more than 21 points in the last 5 weeks. The last 5 weeks, this team has not cleared 21 points. The Philadelphia Eagles, with Saquon Barkley, with A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, all these big names all over the place, Devontae Smith, they have 21 points is their highest total. And you know what's funny? In the game against the Cowboys, they scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. They didn't score the rest of the game. How could you honestly look at this team and think that they're a Super Bowl team right now? They're going to, I think, get into the playoffs on a technicality. But this team's a one and done. They're not repeating. You kidding me? This team has no chance in hell. No chance in absolute hell to win a Super Bowl as they are currently playing right now. I liken this Eagles team right now to the Alabama team that is making the college football playoff. They play granted, that Alabama team can't run the ball. At least the Eagles can run the ball to some degree, but they can't score. They cannot score to save their life. It's wild to me how bad this offense has played. And this was like the cherry on top of the shit sundae of this stretch of games that they've had where they've now lost 3 in a row. They score 19 points. You get down into the red zone. You get bailed out on a penalty. And then Jalen Hurts throws a pick. I mean, for God's sake, Who in their right mind could get 2 turnovers on one play? Only Jalen Hurts, apparently. That's a Brown statistic right there. Like, if you told me that this team was the Cleveland Browns right now, I would have honestly kind of framed it the same way. Because a lot of the deficiencies that plague the Cleveland Browns are plaguing the Philadelphia Eagles. They play good defense, very talented, but their offense can't produce worth a shit. The difference is the Eagles have much better receivers than the Cleveland Browns. They have much better weapons than the Cleveland Browns. They have a much better offensive line than the Cleveland Browns. So what are we doing? If you are the Philadelphia Eagles, you have to have a serious conversation if they go one and done, if Nick Sirianni should be your head coach moving forward. Because some of the decisions that he has made with his staff, obviously with Kellen Moore leaving out the door, this guy, Nick Petula, I think is the guy's name, who's the offensive coordinator. This team does not look close to what they were a year ago. It does not look even close. And the personnel on that team is insane. But the other part of this is, you've got a head coach that really I don't think is up to the task. You've got one of the most talented running backs in the NFL, and you've got a quarterback that, if you take away his running ability, is a very mid to lower tier quarterback. I like Jalen Hurts. He's got a great story. But he is not an elite quarterback in the NFL. He's not. The evidence is there. The evidence is there that if you take away his running ability and force him to throw the ball, this is what you get. 4 interceptions. That's what you get, man. So if you're an Eagles fan, I'd be really concerned. I would be very concerned. The only thing that is saving them right now, I would have been even more concerned if the Cowboys had found a way to win that game against the Lions on Thursday night, but they didn't. And the Cowboys are effectively, a couple games back now of the Eagles. It's a mess, man. It is a full-blown mess. And the one thing that's saving the Eagles is that they've got the Raiders and the Commanders 2 times left on their schedule. They've got 3 bad teams. And, then they got the Bills as well. So, but who's to say what the Commanders are going to try and do? Like, is Jaden Daniels going to be able to play the rest of the season? Is it going to be motivating, or are they just trying to, potentially tank and get a higher draft pick to help fix whatever's going on with their team because they've had a bad year? It's just really a perplexing situation playing out in Philadelphia, considering where this team was 10 months ago. This team 10 months ago blew out the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And to think that both these teams are not going to even get close, because the Chiefs aren't making the playoffs unless a miracle happens. And the Eagles, if they don't get their shit together, they might miss the playoffs. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Eagles will get in, but I think they're very precarious to potentially being a one-and-done team, given the way that they're playing right now. And they've gotten away with a lot. Like I said, 5 straight games where they haven't gotten more than 20, they haven't gotten to 22 points. It's crazy. So, anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.